is Jo from Minerva, and today I'm here to do a pattern hacking video from the Savannah dress pattern. The Savannah dress pattern is a Minerva exclusive pattern. It is a cocoon dress for stretch fabrics. It has inseam pockets running from some really nice seam lines that go on the side fronts and the back fronts. I've made a couple of hacking videos so far already. There is a V-neck hack. So this one changes it from a round neck t-shirt shape. This one also has a slight alteration to the sleeve. Here's the shape if you've not seen it before. Sort of skimming the waist, little bit of space, inseam pockets. Really great for working if you sit down like me. And I wanted to take a look at the pattern for a more loungewear feel. So today we're going to add a hood and a hemband. The Savannah dress can be styled for sort of casual evening wear, date night, that kind of thing. But I thought that if I could use some French terry, knowing how comfortable this one feels, then I could make some really nice loungewear. The sort of hoodie where you get in from work and you put your leggings on and a hood, cozy up, watch TV, read a book, that kind of thing. I thought it would also be useful as an overlayer for if I was walking the dog or going outside for a walk in the chillier weather. I can't make this a short sweatshirt length with a hood because the pocket bags hang down quite low, so it can only ever go as short as the length of the pocket bags. So that's why I'm going to make this a tunic length today to wear with trainers and leggings, boots and leggings, that kind of thing. I've chosen a Minerva exclusive print French terry. I'll try and hold it steady, but there you can see the knit texture in the background. This one is called Urban Cheetah. It's green, black, pink, quite a subtle green, but really great that you can pair this with black. I'm still going to make it short sleeved so that you can use it for layering, so you can put a long sleeve thermal underneath, so you get the hood, the print fabric, and then a long sleeve t-shirt underneath. I think it's going to be a really comfortable outfit. For the inside of the hood, I've got a piece of plain cotton jersey, just because this is a little bit lighter than the French terry. So sometimes if you use 2 layers of French terry for a hood, the weight of it can sort of pull back on your neck a little bit. So this is a little bit lighter. I'm going to use this to line the hood, and I've also got some cords and strings to put through the hood so that I can do a little tie. Let's head over to the cutting table. I'll show you the pattern piece that I cut for the hood shape. You can do it a couple of different ways. You can either trace off a hood shape of a hoodie that you've already got, where you clone and then you add the seam allowance, or you can use a pattern piece from an existing pattern that's got a hood on it. I got the page hoodie pattern, and I think the hood on that is quite good. It just crosses over in the middle, so you don't get a sort of gaping wound at the centre front here where you can see your stitches. I quite like that it crosses over, so I'm going to use that one, and I'm also going to use an eyelet tool to thread the cord through the edge of the hood. Okay, I have used a hoodie pattern piece from another pattern, and I'm happy that it's big enough for my head and it's got enough space to do the casing here, and I know where the centre front is going to join. This is the line I'm not sure about yet, because until I put my dress together and measure the circumference of the neck hole, I don't know whether that's going to be too long or not, in which case I'll need to be just bringing this in a little bit. I might need to be just shortening this a little bit. So I'm happy with this upper part of the hood, but I don't want to cut that out just yet, or my fabric, until I've put together the overall hoodie and I can just double check the circumference of the neck hole. Okay, we've got all of the components, so now we're going to put it together. I'm going to whiz through the first part of this pattern, the pockets and the seam lines and everything, and I'm going to get to the next stage so we can look at putting the hood together. If you want to see a full sew along of the Savannah dress, because this pattern is new to you, then you can head over to our sew along, which is from Diane, and it shows you how to put the dress together in all its little processes and stages so that you can get the construction right before you start hacking anything. To sew French terry, a ballpoint needle is really good because it's got a soft tip, so rather than puncturing a hole, it finds a hole and it stops the white from the back of the fabric pulling through to the darkest print side. And so if you use a stretch needle or a universal needle, it'll snag some of the white loops from the back of the loop back and pull them through to the front of your print side. So a ballpoint needle is best. I'm using a Gutterman thread, but you can use a Maraflex thread on a straight stitch if you want to. We need to know now what the circumference of this neck hole is so that we can compare it to our hoodie draft that we made earlier. Before we cut the fabric out, we want to make sure that it's going to fit around our neck hole. I'll need to know the centre front so that I can put my hoodie in the right place and measure the circumference. I've measured from centre front to centre front because I've got a centre front line on my hoodie piece. Let's compare the measurements. I've put on a 1.5 centimetre seam allowance so that I know that I'm measuring the actual size. My neck hole is 54 centimetres. So I'm 3 or 4 centimetres too big. So I'm going to grade this bit in a little bit and this bit in a little bit. Then I can go and cut out my 2 hoodie pieces and join them together. The last thing I need to do with my hoodie piece is to decide where I'm going to have my eyelet. So this is the centre front line. So this is where they will cross over at this intersection. So I would like my eyelet to be just above there. This purple line is a top stitching line. This dashed line is the stitch line. So this is the width of the casing here that you will see, and I can get my cord in there, and I need a hole with an eyelet. I'll show you the construction of the hood. I'm going to make the hood separate and then we'll just attach it to the sweatshirt. I'm going to show you how to make the channeling, how to put the cord through, how to line it, and how to make sure that the cords come out at the right side. I'm going to slow down now that we're making the hood so that I can show you the construction of it. So I've got here a chalk mark showing where my eyelet's going to go. I'm going to put the hood right sides together and sew the outer back curve. I've marked where the centre of my hood is going to match up with the centre of the top. I've sewn the outer the same. We're now going to put those pieces right sides together. So matching up the seam, I'm going to fold one seam allowance one way, one seam allowance the other, so that I don't have lots of bulk. I'm going to match up that face edge, so that's the edge that's going round our face, right sides together. I've allowed a 1.5 seam allowance here, and it's important that I keep it, otherwise the place that I've marked for my eyelet won't be in the correct position. You don't need to overlock any of this or zigzag it. It's all going to be on the inside of your hood. That's the top of the hood. That's the bit that go on top of our head. We can give this a little press, and then our next row of stitching will be along here to put the cord in. The problem is I've made this before, this style hood, and then I've sewn the top stitching, but I haven't put the eyelet in, and you need to put the eyelet in now so that you can put it through just the outer layer, the print layer. So I can see there my mark. I'm going to put an eyelet in here, one on the other side, and then I can sew up the edge, and I'm going to put the cord in before I do that. I've done it before where I've sewn the casing and then I can't get the cord through the hole, I can't get a safety pin through the hole, and I've ended up unpicking it. So hopefully this will save you some dramas. In order to stabilize the back of the fabric where I'm going to put the eyelet, I'm just going to press on a couple of pieces of firm interfacing. This area is all prepared now, ready to put an eyelet in. Just make sure you haven't lost your chalk mark from the right side. In order to punch a hole, I'm going to use my Vario tool. I'm going to use 11mm eyelets. I've done a little practice one. Makes quite a big hole. You can get smaller ones. Depends how thick your cord is. And this is the 11mm eyelet setting set. So the domed one goes in the bottom of my Vario tool, and the other one goes in the top. Locate your eyelet point over the top and make a hole. Now we're going to put the ringlet set on, the eyelet set on. So there's a plastic seat to go on the bottom and a punch to go on the top. The eyelet with the shoulder goes on here. So we'll put the material over the shoulder. The sharper edge of the ring goes down onto the fabric, and we can squeeze. It puts an eyelet in, ready for our cord. If you want a full tutorial on how to use the Vario tool, then leave a comment below and we can surely put that together for you. You might have another way of doing it. You might have a setting tool, a hammer. You might have vario pliers. So whichever way you can create 2 eyelets, now is the time to do it. Next part, take your cord and bring it up through the eyelet, and then hold your cord against that seam and just pin it out of the way. If you make the casing and then try and thread the cord through, you need a really big eyelet to get a safety pin through. I've made that mistake before, so I'm just showing you a method that means you put the cord in before you sew the casing, and then everything is in place. If you like this cord, I'll list all the products that I've used below the video. This pink particularly goes well with Urban Cheetah. That's the print name of this fabric. Right, our hood is all complete. The cord is functional, pulls through from each side. You can use a smaller eyelet there if you have a smaller one in a pack and you've got a couple you want to use up. Next up, because French terry is a little bit curly, I'm just going to pin the 2 layers together, the lining and the hood, at 45 degrees, and that will make it easier to handle the fabric when I'm distributing it around the neckline of my tunic. I'm going to just baste these together with a machine baste to hold them together. Now we're ready to put the hood onto our top, so use some of the main markers. You've got a centre back seam to match up to a centre back notch on the back, and I've got a notch that I made to match up with my centre seam, and that's where my fronts are going to cross over. So spend a bit of time now just putting this on carefully, because it is seen right from the front, so you want it to look super neat and tidy. Right, that's the hood complete. I've overlocked around mine, but you can go around a couple of times zigzagging, just because that's a stress point where you'll keep pulling it over your head. Got lovely ties, nice to have pink instead of black for a change. And there's the hood. I've already put the armbands on, so now I'm going to sew up the side seams and then I can do the hem. For this more casual loungewear look, I thought I would change the hem up a little bit on this version. So I'm going to put a hemband around the bottom so that the tunic has that sort of cocoon shape to keep me sort of warm, but then the hemband will just nip it in at the bottom. You could use the same technique as the hood if you want to and put a cord through the bottom, but because I've shown you that technique, I'm just going to put a hemband on the bottom this time. You need to make sure if you're cutting a hemband that you cut it with the greatest direction of stretch. Going across your body. If you use this one, it will be tight, and when you sit down it won't have enough give to give you a comfortable sitting fit. So make sure your hemband is cut on the direction of greatest stretch. In order to shorten Savannah, you will need to make sure that you're clearing the bottom of the pocket bags. So line up your pocket bag pieces, and you'll know that you can't go any shorter than there. So I'm going to fold back the pattern piece, cut this off, and then I'm going to use this piece to make the hemband. it will be slightly shorter, and we need to true up the edge so that it's still running at that cocoon shape that brings the hemband in. This hemband can now stretch and bring the waist of this in. This one is my back piece, so I'm going to mark that as such because it will be different to the front piece. I'm going to mark those so that I know that this one is my back hemband. I'm going to do the same on the front so that I've got a front hemband. I'm going to put 2 pins in my back. And there's 1 pin to signal that this is my front hemband, and then when I come to make them I can put them together, making sure that I've got my slanted edges matching up. So that's my hemband. I can put that together now and sew it when I've completed the rest of the tunic top. I've taken the front hemband, that's the one I marked with 1 pin, and the back hemband that I marked with 2 pins, and I've joined it at the sides. They're quite stretchy because it's going to be, when I sit down, that's going to be under a little bit of pressure. I'm going to fold the band in half and press it, and then we can attach it to the hem of the skirt. I'll just show you the bottom hem of that because there will be a little bit of easing to do because this is slightly bigger than this. Let's press it first. I've quartered it, so I've found the halfway point. Here's the sides. So I've got a centre front mark that I can use, and I'm going to do the same on my top, on the bottom of my tunic. So join the side seams, find your centre front and centre back, and that will mean that you get the hemband on evenly and you'll distribute the ease that you're going to put in. This is the back. I've marked the back with 2 pins. So there's the centre back, pin in place. I'm going to go round to the side seam, pin all the key points first, and then you'll know how much you've got to distribute along each side. And you can see here that this is the hemband and this is the tunic, and it's slightly longer. There's a little bit of a sag there, you can see. So we're going to keep splitting this in half and in half. Pin, half, pin, half. And that will distribute the fullness of the hem into the hemband. You can overlock it on, you can sew it on and zigzag it. You do get a little bit of curling, so if you leave it, you might just get a little ridge around the hem. So even if you know it's not going to fray, it's a good idea to zigzag it so that you close up all of those raw edges. Lovely, neat tunic hemband, and you can see I couldn't go down any because of the pocket bags inside, but I guess you could scoop out some of the pocket bag if you just wanted when you cut it out in the first place, and you could get maybe another inch shorter. Let's try it on, see what it looks like. Here's the tunic that I've made. Still got all the same design lines with the pockets. It doesn't look so short on me because I'm not very tall. I'm 5'3", so it is sort of a couple of inches above my knee, but if you were longer in the body, it would be coming up more on your thigh length. I've kept the sleeves as the pattern because I sort of envisage wearing a long sleeve thermal underneath here, a black one, so that it's got black slim sleeves. Here's the hood join, got those neat eyelets there. Super cozy. Still quite a bit of space here, so if you wanted to have your hoodie coming up further, you would need to raise this neckline up, which is in my roll neck video, how to move this neckline up to get a snugger neck. It's actually really comfy in French terry. I kind of envisage myself wearing this for sewing in, because I can sit, whip it on, whip it off, try things on, reading a book, watching TV, lounging after work, taking the dog for a walk. It's super comfy, and if you've got a casual job, it's still pretty smart. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed that today. A slightly different style to this Savannah dress, something a little bit more casual, but I think that some people like to wear that kind of clothing. Some people are going out to work, so they may be looking for a different wardrobe. Hopefully we're covering a few bases for lots of different people. We would love to see if you have made the Savannah dress, any hacks, what fabric you chose. It's really interesting for us to see how people have used our Minerva exclusive patterns. If you've been making anything else, we'd also like to see that too. So do head over to Minerva, make a free account and share your makes there. A photograph, a little description, tag what fabric you chose. It's really an inspiration to our Minerva makers. Thank you very much for watching. Do come back for more hacking videos soon. There are also learn to sew videos, full sew alongs, patterns and trends, new releases, all of that kind of thing on our YouTube channel and over on our Minerva feed on the website. Thank you very much for watching. Do come back again.